Hi, so we're group number 12, and we're going to be talking about the mental health dilemma in the movie The Social Dilemma. All right, so a summary of that is with the rise of social media, many teens and young adults have been spending more of their time online. They consume a lot more than other age groups, and a lot of what is consumed can be harmful to their mental health, whether it's their self-esteem or anxiety. In the movie, The Social Dilemma, the mental health dilemma is summarized as the negative impact that social media platforms and their algorithms have on people's mental health. The film argues that social media companies manipulate users' behavior to keep them engaged on their platforms, leading to addiction, social isolation, and the spread of false information. The constant comparison to others' curated online personas can also lead to feelings of inadequacy and low self esteem, which can contribute to depression and anxiety. The film suggests that social media companies should take responsibility for the impact that they have on users' mental health and implement changes to prioritize their well being.
So who does this affect? Teenagers and young adults. Social media addiction affects young people more than any other group. Young people are more likely to spend or spend a lot of time on social media and are more likely to be influenced by the content they see. Studies show that social media addiction can lead to depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues in young people. Furthermore, the rush of dopamine the brain receives from positive feedback creates a form of high. Because of this, uh, almost an addiction is recreated to keep this positive feeling going, and this starts from an early age. Some study shows that teens with social media addiction tend to develop other forms of addiction as well.
This also affects people who have a history of mental illness. People who have a history of mental illness, such as anxiety and sadness, are risk factors for developing social media addiction. Addiction to social media can bring about pre existing mental health problems and create new ones. This also affects people with poor self esteem. People who have low self esteem are more prone to become addicted to social media. Social media can enhance self-esteem temporarily by providing likes and comments. This increase, however, is fleeting and can lead to a cycle of addiction and low self-esteem.
Who do you think is responsible for solving this dilemma, and what can they do? Is there anything that you can do? So, in order to try and solve this global dilemma, social media companies should focus more on promoting use their platforms for trying to connect with relatives or friends or people with similar interests. Specifically, platforms like Instagram and Twitter have become very centered around how many followers someone has or how many likes they get on their posts. People focusing too much on how popular they are, it leads to influencers making unrealistic edits and filters on their posts. And unfortunately, every day people will compare themselves to these edited pictures, and it'll lead to low self-esteem. And Instagram has recently added a feature of hiding like counts on posts, and I feel that this is a good attempt to take a step in the right direction.
So, individually, we have to remember that you shouldn't constantly compare yourself to everyone else, especially when you're on social media. Other personal actions you could take include creating distraction-free time, setting limits on the time spent on your phone, and making meals more important with others around you. One of the main effects social media has is that it makes people feel less connected than before. So having a meal with friends or even your work peers allows you to interact with actual people. Distraction-free time can be going to the gym, reading a book, or doing homework. This time will allow one to be detoxed from the social media realm and really just focus on their personal lives.
So some real world examples that were seen in the film. One of the most obvious ones was the rise in anxiety and depression. One example of stats given in the film was that the suicide rates have gone up 70% in girls ages 15 to 19 and 151% in girls ages 10 to 14 since 2010. Another example mentioned in the film was the issue of comparison within social media, especially with unrealistic body standards. Another issue mentioned was the actual addiction to social media and what this does to the chemicals in our brain, such as the constant release of dopamine from scrolling on our phones is craved constantly, hence the endless scrolling that we oftentimes do while on our phones. And that concludes our presentation.